Welcome. My name is Ayo, and I am your host. Before we say anything further, we'll say thank you very much to all of you who subscribed to our channel. Today we're having our very first grammar class, thanks to my director and all other members of the group. In our first grammar class, we want to take a look at auxiliary verbs. These verbs are often in use. We use them often. So that's why we decided to give consideration or thought to these parts of our grammar classes. So, auxiliary verbs are also called helping verbs. They are used with main verbs to show tone, tense, or mode. Now, they are indicative in the following categories. We have the be to be group. To be group include is, was, are, were. And another category is the to have group. The to have group have the following examples: has, have, and had. And then we have to do group, such as examples as does, do, and did. Of course, we have our regular modal auxiliary verbs in the likes of can, could, shall, should, may, might, and all of that, okay? But today we're looking at the to have group. Three key verbs or auxiliary verbs: the have, has, and had. Okay? Have, has, and had. Okay? Good. So, now these three verbs, as we said earlier, we use them often. But the truth is, we don't just use these verbs at will. We use them because of their importance. Of course, we must know this importance. What is it? One, when you use these three verbs, you're probably using them for two reasons. Either for possession purpose, to show possession, or you use them for time-keeping function. These are the two broad uses of these three verbs. But today I want to talk about the time-keeping function of these three verbs. Time-keeping function: has, have, had. Well, before we go far into discussing that aspect, let's first review something. Now, when using verbs, there's something you want to remember. It is the state of the subject. Okay? Is the subject appearing in singular form, or is it appearing in plural form? Now, if you understand this, you will know whether to choose has or have. Okay? So, is it appearing as singular? You go for has. Is it appearing as plural? You go for have. For example, we say he has gone. He has gone. Simple. But if the he changes to they, what happens? Our choice of these three verbs changes as well. So let's say they. They, this time around, have, okay, spoken. They have spoken. Did you see that? So you see that we choose these verbs based on the form of the subject. Okay? Is it appearing in singular form or in plural form? So that's what determines which of these two we will choose. Okay, so please take note of that. However, Had is the past form of both has and have. Remember, we said that we want to talk about one function of these three verbs, and which is for time-keeping purpose. If you're using any of these three verbs for time-keeping function, now you have to listen. Okay, time-keeping function. How would you know that you're using any of these verbs for this function? Well, whenever you're using these verbs for time-keeping function, the verb that appears after any of them should be in its past participle form. Please take note of that. The verb that appears after any of these three verbs should be in its past participle form. Is it clear? Good. So, if we say that he has eaten. Good. Now, the verb that appears after has is eat. Okay? But because of the presence of has, we decided to add en. Why? Because the verb that appears after has, as has, have, and had, auxiliary verbs, but these particular set of verbs, if we're using any of them for time-keeping function, the verb that appears must be in its past participle form. Please take note of that. Okay? Now, there is more to using these verbs than we've just said. Please, let's come back. We said for a time-keeping function. Well, we're using these verbs to show for time-keeping function. He has eaten. He has spoken. He has read. Okay? All of these. Fine. Clear. No problem. What about had? Well, had is not just used at will. That's where the problem comes. You don't just use had because you don't want to use has, because you don't want to use have. No. Yes, we have said that you use had as past form of has and have. It's clear. But when you're using had for time-keeping function, the sentence in which it appears must contain two clauses. Take note, at least two clauses. Take note of that. So you cannot use had in this sense in in a single clause sentence. Okay? So our previous examples we gave, he has gone. We cannot use had here just like that at will. And we say that the sentence, sorry please, it's not correct. So what happens after he had gone? That's where our use of had comes in, or poses challenge. So we say, before we use had in this sense, more likely we introduce certain adverbs like before, when, hardly had, no sooner than, okay, after, okay, we said after, before, when, and all of that, okay? Now, we use these ones to introduce a second clause, okay? Now, for example, he had gone before it started to rain. Okay, now let's analyze. He had gone, one clause. Subject he had, okay? Then gone, clear. A sentence or a clause is formed. Then we link these with the word before, and we introduce a second clause, which now says, it started to rain. It started to rain. Another clause. So we did not just use had at will. We understood what we needed had for. So we introduced had because has cannot be here. Okay, as well as have cannot be here. Because the sentence contains two clauses in this sense or in this order, we are using had preferably. We hope that's clear. Well, one major problem or major challenge we some of us have is that we do not know how some of our main verbs appear, either at the past tense form or at the past participle forms. That's one major problem we have. So please take a look at some of the verbs, selected verbs we have here, and please practice them and learn more. One example, or number one, is beer. Okay, infinitive form, beer. Now, past tense form, bore. Then past participle, born. O-B-O-R-N-E. Clear? Fine. Then we have blow. Past tense, blew. Past participle, blown. Clear? Good. Now, bite. Past tense, beat. Past participle, beaten. Another is choose. Past tense, chose. Past participle, chosen. Fly. Past tense, flew. Past participle, flown. Another is draw. Past tense, drew. Past participle, drawn. Another is ride. Past tense, rode. Past participle, ridden. Another is rise. Past tense, rose. Past participle, risen. Another is sing. Past tense, sang. Past participle, sung. S-U-N-G. Another example is speak. Simple past tense, spoke. Past participle, spoken. Another is do. Past tense, did. Past participle, done. Now another word is write. Past tense, wrote. Past participle, written. Then another is throw. Past tense, threw. Past participle, thrown. Now lie. L-I-E. Okay. Now lie can be used to refer to be in rest position. Okay, if you're in a rest or prone position, and that's the lie we are referring to, not falsehood, not untrue. Okay, but to be in prone position. Okay, now the past tense form of lie here is lay. L-A-Y. Okay, and the past participle form is laying. Did you see? So we say he has lain, not lie or lay. Do you understand? Fine. So that is it. So because we do not understand how some of these verbs, of course, these main verbs are many. Okay. So, but most of them often appear in the regular form. That is, having the ed ending at the past and past participle form. For example, we say start. Past tense, started. Past participle, started. You understand? So that's the form in which most of these verbs appear. But a few of them are just appear differently. So we've seen these ones. You discover that in each form they appear, they are all always spelled differently. But there are some verbs that do not show complete changes. Okay. What are the examples? We have come, run, and catch. For example, we have come. Okay, so come. Past tense of come, of course, you know, it's came. But the past participle is not came, is come. So he has come. C-O-M-E, come. Okay, another example is run. The same thing happens. So run, R-U-N, run. Past participle, ran. Sorry, please. Past tense, I mean to say ran. And then past participle, run, R-U-N. Okay, came, come. Run, ran, run. Okay, now another example, we have catch. Well, here at catch, we have catch, caught, caught. Okay, past tense, caught, past participle, caught. So some verbs are like that. But well, let us see another set of verbs again, please. You want to know those that never change. Okay, they do not change form, they remain the same. So take note of them too. Examples we have are cut, cut, C-U-T, cut. So at infinitive form, cut, you have past tense form, cut, past participle, cut. It's the same throughout. So whenever you want to use it in your sentence, I would say that I cut some vegetables already. I cut some vegetable already. Okay? Okay, fine. Okay, I would say that I have cut the vegetables. So C-U-T. Okay? But then if we are okay, well, another example is burst. 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 B-U-R-S-T. Burst. It's the same throughout. So it is burst, past tense, burst, past participle, burst. Now another example is cast. Cast. C-A-S-T. Okay, so cast is the same all through. Cast, past participle form, cast, past simple past tense form. It's the same. Another example is set. Set, past tense, set, past participle. Another is put. Okay, put, past tense, put, past participle. Another is read. Now, at read, take note. I will read the whole book today, but I read the book yesterday. I read the book yesterday. Now, the spelling is the same, but the tone is different. Okay, so read, read. Now the same happens at past participle form. I have read that book. I have read that book. So it is R-E-A-D, but the sound changes for past tense and past participle tense. So another example of word is quit. Well, quit, the same throughout. Why have we decided to bring a number of these verbs out? Because they are important and we want you to know. Okay? You have ring, ring, past tense, rang, past participle, rung, R-U-N-G. Okay? Commonly used at schools, you say, I have rang the bell. Okay? What would you rather say? Okay, fine. Okay, no problem. So now you understand that when you use has, have, or had for timekeeping function, the verb that comes after it, that is the main verb after it, should be in its past participle form. Please take note of that. That's a key thing in this topic or in our discussion today. Please let's have a few examples. Okay, we said the prisoner has escaped. The prisoner has escaped. Okay, good. Now here, timekeeping function. How did we know? Because the verb that appears after has is in its past participle form. Remember we said some verbs appear in ed form to show their past and past participle form. Okay, now another example, we say the prisoners have escaped. Fine, the prisoners. This time around, because we used prisoners, we're using have escaped. Fine. But what about if we want to use had? Well, we'll say that the, or let's say, the jailer had left before the prisoners, okay, escaped. Right? Fine. The jailer had left before the prisoners escaped. Did you see? Now, how did you see that last sentence? That's the third sentence. Well, in that sentence, there are how many clauses? Okay, look at it again. The jailer had left before the prisoners escaped. Well, okay, I think you guessed right, or you're right. Fine. The first part or the first clause ends here, left. The jailer had left. And then the second clause here, the prisoners escaped. So that is it. Now, that's how you use these three verbs for timekeeping function. Please, that's it under that use of these three verbs. Well, there's something we want to chip in, okay? You see these pronouns, I and you. Please take note of them. In our subsequent discussions, we may often refer to them, okay? But we'll just use them because we'll say something about them now. Now, I are, let's see examples of verbs that can go with I. You can say, I am, I was, okay? You can also say, I have, I had. Then you can now say, I leave, or I hate. Good. Now, let's see you, okay? You, here, are, where, okay? Then have, had. Then here, are, leave, and hate. But let's see one person. Let us say, let's use the word Andrew. One person. Now you see, is, was, okay, has, had, lives, hates. So now you see that I and you are often treated as plural subjects. Take note. Are often treated as if they were plural. Do you understand? Fine. So if you check very well, you find that it's only worse. Okay, here that goes with I. That also appears at Andrew. But if you check, you find that from here, here, they're the same. Now, if we use they, you will find similarities such as are, were, okay, have, had, okay, which goes for all of them, then leave and hate. Please take note of that, please. Okay, so I, you, treated as if they were they. Okay, but one person, okay, you treat one person, this way. Is, was, hates, likes, lives, hears. You understand? So that's how it is. So I and you, I have, they have, but he has. Did you see? So I like, you like, but he likes. Do you understand that? So please, that's how it will be. That's it for these parts of our class today. So we'll quickly leave you with the word of the week. And our word of the week, please, is spelled COMMODIOUS. How do you pronounce that word? Okay? Fine. It is pronounced commodious. 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 Fine. It is used to mean spacious, roomy. Spacious or roomy. Okay? Or convenient. Okay, that's the meaning of that word. Now let's have an example of a sentence where this word appears. I love the commodious bathtub because I can stretch out fully. I love the commodious bathtub because I can stretch out fully. So that word commodious is an adjective. Please take note of that. That's the word of the week. Thank you very much. See you again next week. Thank you.